Happy. Is it Monday? It's a good thing sometimes to lose track of the days, given that I didn't go to the hospital today where I work. I took another day off to myself to regroup and to just relax and to just self-care. Just be in my own space, in my own energies. I felt that. And then last night I had a very long night. I was spending time with a group of folks, and it was a good energy exchange. And it wasn't like I was hanging out. I actually was in my bed, and no folks were in my bed, but I was having some exchanges online. And yeah, sometimes I just like to go with the flow. That's just the kind of person I am, which makes me think that, and this is not a new thought that I'm having, but it reminds me that yes, I am an independent thinker. I'm an independent person. And though I have a position where I'm working within a system, this is not my trajectory. Definitely not. Because I'm a very independent person. And I don't see myself working for anyone but myself going forward. So what I'm doing now is like a means to an end, and it just like reminds me like, yo, I work better alone. I just do. I work better alone or amongst people who vibrate at my same frequency, right? Who have positive energies, just positive forward-thinking people. It's not that everything is going to always be all positive, right? But I just don't like, I just don't mesh well with certain energies, right? And so before I get into this video, I'm just going to share, because you guys know I always have stories to share, but I'm going to share this experience that I had in a class that I was taking back in LA as part of my PhD in clinical psych program. I have a few things I'm going to show you guys. Actually, several things I'm going to show you guys. I went on another shopping haul unintentionally, but I guess everything happens for a reason. So I'm going to talk about the importance of buying black here in this video. But let me share this quick tidbit story where in this class, and I've shared this story before, where I believe I was the only black person, not just black woman, but black person in the class, amongst white people and people of other ethnic demographics, nationalities. And the focus seemed to be on me for a significant portion of the class time, right? Like, people's attention was focused on me, wanting to engage with me. And if anybody knows me, this is my personality. Like, I'm in my own zone. I'm a silent observer. I will interact. Don't get me wrong. I'm not always like in a cocoon. All right. I will interact. I will engage. Like, I'm a very fun person to be around. I have a sense of humor. But if I don't vibe with you, I don't vibe with you. I'm not going to start things with you. I'm just going to sit back and chill and be in my own space. And that's just how I was. And it got underneath other people's skin because I did not allow their energy to disrupt my peace. And it taught me a very valuable lesson, because in this interaction, the group, the class was group therapy, right? So it was like a simulated group experience where the professor was a group leader, and the students in the class, my classmates and myself, we are the group participants participating in group therapy, where we're supposed to like be ourselves, right? And in doing so, through this transactional process, we're able to understand elements of ourselves that maybe have been hidden, you know, it's brought to the surface, and also teaches us how like we interact with people. And through those interactions with our classmates, reveals something about how we interact with people in the world, right? So that was the premise and the function of the course. But it was, I actually loved it, because I like seeing when people can't get to me, right? And they become upset. They become infuriated because they just can't get, they try so hard. They try, but they just can't, because I don't allow them to. I have perfected peace. I have perfected just being in my own center, being centered in my own space. And so there are moments and various moments, like multiple times, where different people in this class, white people, non-black, would say things to me like, oh, I noticed that, and this is like not just to me, but this is to me in front of like everyone in the class. I think it was a total of at least 10 of us in the class, probably more. And they're like, I know, and they had known that I have a vlog, right? Everyone knew that I had a vlog at that point, because they discovered that like the first semester in my program. They're like, I noticed that on your vlog you seem to have more passion, be more enthusiastic, but here we don't get that. I'm just like, that's my vlog. That's a separate space, first of all, than this space, right? I look at this as a professional environment, where we are expected to present ourselves in a certain way, right? Whereas my vlog, my space, like here when I'm doing these videos, yo, this is me. I get to be myself. So one person says, oh, well, that's unfortunate that you have to put on a facade, right? Or a certain face in one environment. You have to be a certain face in a different environment. She was like, I'm the same way anywhere I go. And I'm just like, okay. Maybe that speaks to your white privilege, right? Because we're two different people. But apart from the privilege aspect, it's just like, I'm going to be a different person when I am around a group of people that I vibrate to, versus a group of people that, you know, like, yeah, we have this commonality of working towards a PhD in clinical psychology. We're graduate students, but apart from that, nah, right? Like, it should go without saying, especially me being a pro-black person and a Pan-African. I don't hate anyone, right? But I'm very calculated and very careful around certain groups of people, even including black people, right? Because it's really about the mind. You know, you can look at one's skin tone, skin complexion, and be like, oh, okay, they're white. Like, I don't know, I gotta, be standoffish, but really racism is a state of mind, right? So a person can be in black skin but still have a white mind. But either way, like, I'm just very calculated, and I like to test people. And so even with them saying that, right, it's like they were trying to call me out. And then not only did the students say that out loud in front of everyone, but my professor, he co-signed. And it's funny because I end up asking my professor to be a part of my dissertation committee because I just like his personality. He's from New York, no holds barred, just straight to the point. So I just like his energy. He's so real. But he was like, yeah, I agree with her. Like, you just seem like to be a different person here than on your blog. I'm like, okay, why are y'all on my blog, first of all? Like, what y'all doing, like, all up on my YouTube channel? But I'm like, okay. And I left it at that. Like, I'm like, okay, that's your observation. Like, it just irks them. And I do this often, and I see that people become so, it just disrupts their whole energy flow when I don't give them the amount of energy that they're giving me, right? They want to entertain me or want to be entertained by me, shall I say, but I'm not giving them that. And another situation in the same group class where another person spoke out, female, and she was like, oh, I always thought that I was curious to get to know you, right? I wanted to be your friend, but I have been hesitant to approach you because you don't seem like, she was trying to say like I don't seem approachable, or I don't seem like I have like a welcoming kind of energy, right, about me. And I'm like, okay. But I felt like that comment was fake because I mean, that's part, it could have been part true, right? Like, maybe she did want to be my friend or get to know me, but I'm just like, you have many opportunities to be my friend, not just in this class, right? When class is over, you can come up and speak to me one-on-one. You don't have to put on the front in front of the class, but I understood that my professor had already set the precedent at the beginning of the class that the currency of the group, how you bank currency, was expressing your emotions. And it wasn't just emotion, but it was a certain kind of emotion, right? To stir up drama. I noticed that he kind of like perked up and hyped up, right? Like, it kind of fed him when people were inciting drama and conflict in the class, versus if you were just displaying, let's say, contentment or happiness, which are also emotions, or indifference, right? It's like that didn't get much bank. And I noticed that he liked that. And so my classmates, my counterparts, just kind of fed into his expectation of wanting to incite like this conflict, interpersonal conflict between other people. Even to the point, it got bad, even to the point where like there were people like threatening other people. And like it was a conflict between two men, or one confronted the other because they were like putting on the show. It was like acting, right, in front of the professor, because that's what the professor wanted to see. Another guy got offended by being confronted in front of all these people, and he like it was like almost like a threat, and it was a whole show. I was just like, seriously? But this is what kind of environment this professor nurtured, right? He created this, and there you go. And I knew, like, I'm not gonna take the bait. Like, you can't manipulate a mastermind. That I am. So it's just like I'll sit back and observe. Y'all sit up here and act like monkeys for a grade, and I still got an A anyway in the class. But it's like, nah, it's not that serious. And I say all that to say that me taking today off to be to myself is done purposefully. I thought about it, right? And this is a part of self-growth where sometimes we second guess the decisions that we make on behalf of ourselves, in favor of ourselves, right? And it's like we kind of go against ourselves and caring for ourselves because we're so used to appeasing other people, right? Being subservient to the wishes of other people at our own detriment. And I'm like, nah, at some point that has to stop. So that's the part of me that I'm working on. That's a part of my own self-improvement that I'm working on, to be able to say no and set boundaries. And I shared this very powerful, impactful video on my business page on Instagram, on Urban Authors, and on Facebook, my Ubawa page, where this man was delivering this very powerful speech to say, like, yo, there's power in saying no. People have gotten in the habit of saying yes to everything that you bankrupt yourself of your own energy. You deprive yourself of the yeses that you have left, needed to engage in things that you have been waiting for, right? The moment that you have been waiting to say yes so that you can participate in the moment of your lifetime, you don't even have that energy left within you because you said yes so much to situations and people that you should have said no to. You should have drawn a boundary to. And I'm just like, yes, that message is for me. That's the space that I'm at right now in my life. And given that I'm near halfway towards finishing my postdoctoral hours for licensure as a psychologist here in New York, it's just like I feel like I am being tried and tested. I know that I'm very passionate about helping people and mental health, right, in general. That I know I did not land in that particular place for no reason. I'm there for a reason. But meanwhile, at the same time, I'm realizing, like, okay, there are systems that we're operating in. And within this system, there are people who have their own issues and their own agenda, things that they have to work through, right? And I'm just like, that's none of my business, right? But I don't want to get caught up in that. And I think this is a common complaint that you hear. And I'm about to get into this video in a minute, but I know there's a common complaint that you hear amongst people when it comes to working for or a company or organization or corporation. It's just like you're getting caught up in the bureaucracy. That's not the part you want to. That's not why I'm here, right? I'm here to meet people who are struggling with issues in their life where they are, right? And to pour into them things that have been, I know that are effectual and have been beneficial for me. And it's backed up by science and research, and just, you know, be that person, right? Be that human spirit to another individual. That's what I'm here for, right? There are people who are suffering severely mentally ill, but yet I find myself being distracted by the bureaucracy of the system that I'm working within, right? And the demands of, it's just like these people, the staff, got their own issues, and all of this is like interpersonal dynamics and relationships that are being played out. And you can see, okay, the things that people are struggling with their own personal lives because they bring it to work. And then you have to deal with that as their coworker. It's just like, I don't have time to deal with your issues, right, of control. As a person who has been given a degree of power and you're abusing that power, I don't have time to deal with that, right? I'm here for the patients. And it's unfortunate that sometimes, you know, helping professionals, we have to take a step back from our own passion sometimes because it's being disrupted by interfering energies that it's just a distraction. So it's no wonder why people go into private practice, and that's always been my goal anyway. Because you get to work like in that private space by yourself without having to deal with all of this interference and people, you know, exercising their perceived power and control over you. That becomes an interference in your work, your role, your identity as a helping professional, and then your work that you're doing with the patients. Like, I ain't got time with that. So I had to express that. That was on my mind, on my heart. And I feel good. Like I say, sometimes we may feel guilty about these and setting those boundaries. I've mastered it when it comes to personal, intimate relationships, especially with men. And now it's just a matter of me practicing this same philosophy, right, and indoctrination that I am believing within myself in a professional environment, right? So here I am now on a Monday doing this video with you guys, and yes, I do want to promote buying black. This is something that I've always backed, supported. I think it's so important, especially as a black business owner and an entrepreneur, that we support black businesses with our dollar, and we do it uninhibitedly, right, effortlessly, mindlessly, and mindfully too. But you know, I think sometimes we become blocked when it comes to supporting black-owned businesses, right? We go and shop and spend our dollar like mindlessly with white manufacturers and white business owners. We don't think twice about it. But when it comes to supporting our own, it's just like we got to sit up here and pinch the penny and calculate to see, okay, well, is this worth it? And we're hesitant, you know, and we've feeding these messages from other people who may have encountered negative experiences with black-owned businesses to say like, oh, black-owned businesses aren't professional, they don't deliver on time, or they're overpriced, or they deliver their products slow, and all of these negative things. That's what comes to surface in your mind when you do encounter a black business that deserves your support. For me, I don't think twice, right? I just do it because I look at the things that black-owned businesses sell, right? Whether it's a service or product, and it's the things that I want, I can use, I can benefit from. So I've spent a lot of money with black-owned businesses, and I'm usually always happy with my purchases. And so here I am. I'm going to show you guys what I got yesterday. So funny enough, I actually went to the African market on 116th Street. The Malcolm Shabazz African market, and I went there with the intent only to buy. It's funny. I went there with the intent only to buy a choker to replace one that I was wearing when I was doing my yoga, my naked yoga video. And I knew it was going to happen. It's like I can't go there and just buy one thing. But I never regret my purchases anyway when I go there. So, yeah, I'm going to show you guys what I got. But it's like, it's funny. I went there to get one. I was like, okay, I'm going to go in there and replace this necklace. I know they have more. I'm going to get another necklace to replace the choker that I've somehow misplaced it after doing that naked yoga meditation video. I'm just like, where the fuck is my choker? So I got new ones. So I'm going to show you guys. I'm about to try this on. And I'm happy. Now, it's not the exact same, but it's similar. I got two. So it's similar in that it's the same shape, and I think it's made out of the same material. Copper or brass, could be both. But my other one had like these dark brown buttons, one on each side. So that's how this one is different. But, oh, I like it. I think it's even better. I think it looks even more classier than my other one. See? Less is more sometimes. But yeah, it had like those. You guys saw it. It had like the dark brown buttons, 2 buttons, one on each side. So I like this. So yes, I feel good. Like, I think people ask me sometimes, like, you know, I see you wearing like different types of clothing. They don't even know where to place it, right? And I say it's African. Just say African clothing. But if my colleague at work, she was like, oh, you have a certain style about you. And she was trying to like put her finger on like what kind of style it was. She was like, is it bohemian? I'm just like, bohemian. Out of all the things, you want to say bohemian. Not that bohemian is a bad thing in and of itself, but it has been associated with bad things, right? Like Bohemian Grove out on the West Coast where they do sacrifices in Hollywood. Like, nah, dog. Nah. Even with certain like symbology within conscious African communities, that one of which I'm a part of, people look at certain symbols and like, oh, that's the Illuminati, is associated with bad things. Like, let's get this straight, okay? A lot of the symbols, like even this, right? The Eye of Horus, it's like that has been perverted by white people. Don't get it mistaken to assume that that is the original meaning of it, right? No, that's their perverted meaning of it. So let's bring it back. But anyway, so yeah, it makes me feel good. It reminds me like what I wear. After seeing this video recommended by a psychologist that I was seeing out in LA for therapy, she recommended I see this TED Talk, and the TED Talk was so powerful, and the guy was like basically just saying how what we wear reflects like who we are and what we stand for, and it just resonated with me. It just stuck with me. Those words just permeated my being, and ever since, like, I was inspired to wear clothing that represents what I stand for and who I am, right? I am royalty. Above being a queen, I'm a goddess. And back then, before I had came into myself and my being, I was wearing just like your plain Jane clothes, like just jeans and sweatshirt, t-shirts, and nothing wrong with that. But it is something to be said about what you wear, because it does reflect a lot, and it changes everything, right? And you guys know, like, if you're into fashion, it just makes you feel so much different as a person. And it does attract certain energies to you. So I realized that, and I'm definitely stepping into more into that. So I did get another choker. I didn't try this on, so I hope that it fits well. I love going to this African market. Ooh. 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 Okay. Okay then. I love it. This is me. Yes, I love it. I can wear both in tandem with each other. Yes, honey. I might wear them today because I do have an event that I'm going to So, oh yeah, see, everything happens for a reason. So, look what happened. See, I ended up misplacing my other choker, and look, I got even better ones. And I got more things too. So, I'm going to show you guys what else I got. So, I decided to switch it up because I usually go, like, when I enter the market, I usually enter the very left side of the market with my good friend who has very affordable price items. But I decided, I always shop with her, spent hundreds of dollars with her. So I decided to do something different, and I entered the far right side of the market. And I stumbled across, look, I'll show you guys one of the first wooden pieces of art. Aside from the mask, I must say, because I did get a few masks I showed you guys. But aside from the mask, this is my very first like wooden sculpture piece of art. And I love her. The question is, where do I put her though? And I got these things actually before I went to my event yesterday. So yesterday I went to see this film screening and Q&A in Harlem. At the, how do you pronounce it? Is it the Maselli's documentary center on Malcolm X Boulevard, Lenox Avenue in Harlem. So I was there yesterday and I saw this very like powerful film, two actually back to back, very powerful films. The first called Death and Cash, about how this West African family celebrated the loss of their maternal figure in the family. And then the second film was a night nursery showing how these mothers made a living like prostituting themselves, and they all had babies, and they would take their babies to this nursery in the community. And the nursery, basically the person that ran the nursery was this elder woman, and she would watch their children for them. And I was just like, wow, who knows that this goes on? But so much goes on in places that we know nothing about. So I was really touched by that story, and I actually want to get a copy of the film. So I got to reach out to the makers, but look at that. I love it. Yes, honey. So it looks like her hair is like, I don't know, somehow coming out of, it's like, is that her hair? Or I would think so, right? It's connected to that, and maybe other, I don't know what else would be in here. But, you know, I guess it's just more symbolic than anything. The thing about African women, yo, they work. And the way it's portrayed. Okay, I've never been to Africa. I do want to go, and I will be going. But the way it's portrayed is that African women work harder than the African men. That's just what I see. And I remember I made this post on social media, and a friend of mine said he tried to like argue it to say, oh, that's just the African culture. It's just like, but I think it's something wrong, right? Yeah, things can be a certain culture, doesn't mean it's right. The women like are slaves to the men there. That's just what it seems like. I'm like, where are the men at? Where is the hard work the men doing? The women carrying these big ass baskets on their head, big ass buckets of water, heavy shit on their head, yo. But what are the men doing? But granted, I think statistically, African women outlive African men. The average life expectancy for a lot of just Africans in general is like half of that of those of people living in the U.S. So yeah, that's alarming to say the least. But I do plan to go to Africa one day. I might not want to come back, so I think when I go, I'm gonna have to like really prepare myself, brace myself for this. That's the thing though. It's just like going. I think it's going to be a very mystical experience when I go. Granted, I'm going to end up going by myself. I did want to go with a friend, but that's out of the question. I end up cutting that person off completely. Like, there's no questions asked. I just can't do it. Because I feel like sometimes we just devote too much of our time and energy on dead situations. And I just like, yo, dead in that. Just let it be dead, right? If it's dead, it's dead. So I made up my mind. I'm like, nah, I'm definitely going to go by myself. No point in like trying to drag a person along with you if they don't want to go, right? You know, traveling is for people who you want to do this. Not that you don't want to do it, but you want to do this, okay? But I love her. I don't even want to put her down. But yeah, so I ended up stopping at this market first before going to see those two films. And so I ended up, this bag that I showed you guys, I was carrying all of this. Probably a good, I don't know, felt like 30 pounds of weight in that bag that I was carrying with me down 125th Street. But yes, I love her. So this is the only wooden sculpture I got. I got another one. Just makes you want like, yo, how they do this? This is, though, it takes some skill. You guys really can't see like all the fine detail in there, but yes, honey. So another reason why, like, it's like a side note. Another reason why, like, I be annoyed by some of the white men that have been drawn to my channel, given that, yes, I do make videos kind of catered towards a certain niche audience, with the cuckold videos, and who usually practices cuckold is white men, right? And so, yeah, they, like, you know, have gravitated towards my Facebook, where I actually record my YouTube videos, and I'm annoyed, like, get away, because of their energy. And, like, for example, so the other day, I had made a video, naked yoga, right? I was actually doing naked yoga, but the screen was black, because you guys obviously can't see that part. It's a conflict of interest with my role as a clinical psychologist now. So I blacked the screen now, and then someone was like, oh, I wish I could see. And then he was like sexualizing the experience, when naked yoga is not a sexualized experience. But the fact that, like, I don't like that they try to sexualize things. And for me, it's like objectifying it, right? Objectifying the black woman as if we're not objectified enough, right? So I just take annoyance to that. And I'm blocking a few people because of their comments. You know, it's annoying, it's offensive, it's disrespectful. And if I feel disrespected, you can count on being blocked. That's just the point of the matter. But yeah, like, not all. I can't say like all. There are a good number of mature men, including white men, who are respectful and courteous, and I'm able to interact with them. But those who aren't, like, no, you're going to be wiped off my page. I don't want you a part of this, and I just don't want to see you there. But they don't get it. And that kind of ties into a lot of things, yo. Like, even when I was watching this film, just seeing how, like, white people, it annoys me just to see how, like, it's just so many aspects to it, right? And of course, like, I'm very attuned to race, politics, right? So of course, like, when I look at the world, experience the world, I experience it through a racial lens. So even like when I went to go see these films yesterday, there were white people there, and it irks me. The space was very intimate space, small theater, but I know I'm not the only person that feels this way, right? But it's just like the thought in my mind, I see them, I'm like, why are y'all here? You know, like, black people are supposed to have our own things to ourselves. Why the fuck are y'all here? Alright? It got my attention, not so much seeing that they were there, but they made themselves noticeable in that the film had already started. And so there was a black man who came in, and he was looking for a seat, and he went to sit down near a white person that was there. And this person yells, a white person yells, like, disrupting the whole flow of the theater. It was like, oh, I'm saving these seats for 6 of my friends. So the black man gets up and he goes to sit further down. He was like, no, 6 seats. I'm saving that seat right there. And I'm like, yo, I wanted to say so bad, like, yo, ain't nobody saving those seats up in here, right? You go to white people events, they'll say, oh, no, you can't save seats, right? They want to come to our shit and want to save seats. Like, no, let that black man sit down. Like, no, this is for us. It is the New York African Film Festival, okay? Can't we have some shit to ourselves without y'all trying to dominate? As if they don't already dominate enough shit. That was just annoying to me, right? it just irks me, yo. Just a lot of things irks me. Yeah, I do want our own space, and that's why I take pride in revolutionaries like Dr. Umar Johnson, who has this vision to create like a black utopia, just our own society, our own space where we control everything, leave their ass out, right? I'm with that shit, right? I'm totally with it. And I still think that it's possible to have that. It's just people have tried to, well, they kind of already have, like, tainted his name, his reputation, his brand. So it's kind of stunting the flow of money that would be going in that direction, because people believe what they hear and they see, and, you know, they think that he's a scammer because people have kind of disrupted the mission that he's on. But yeah, I'm all for that. Yo, we need our own space. Just like, it's because it's a different vibration. And white people, some white people get it, but a lot of white people, they don't even see, like, yo, how evil they are. Not because they're white, but actually sometimes because they're white. Because Dr. Francis Cress Welsing spoke on this, how white is recessive. And that's part of the reason why they have created this racially oppressive system, to counterbalance this degree of inferiority that they feel. I've talked about this before in other videos. They feel inferior genetically. They know that they are inferior. Not only just that they feel that way. So they created this hateful system to try to keep us oppressed as black people, the original beings on earth, spirit beings. And yeah, it makes it clear why they hate us, right? Just knowing that they can't even sit out in the sun because they're going to get skin cancer because they're not genetically and biologically made. They're not natural beings, right? And so, yeah, the interactions with the people of the sun, black people, are not going to be natural interactions. Not going to be healthy interactions. Not to say all, right? I think, you know, there are a good number of white people who do have a healthy perspective and they're respectful. But sometimes, yeah, they can just be annoying. But anyway, moving on. I don't want to put her down. Where can I put her? Maybe I can put her here. Let's see. You want to sit here? Right here. Wait, no, because I was like hiding her. I don't want to hide her. Put her, ooh, right there. But then it's kind of like, you guys see that? It's kind of like hiding my degree if I put her there. But no, I think that's a perfect space for her right now. All right, moving along. All right, what's next? Okay, so yeah, I got another wooden piece. I'm so hungry. I only ate a mango so far. And I saw this sitting on the table, and I was just like, yo, what is this, and what can I use this for? But knowing my creative self, I'm going to find a use for it. I've collected a lot of African pieces, including my own art pieces that I've made, to the point where, I am definitely pressing for a bigger space. I think I've outgrown the space that I live now. Because I'm gonna run out of room. I mean, it's like I'm good. Like, I have space, but if I keep at my same pace of painting and collecting these items, and especially buying clothes, y'all, my wardrobe is so extensive. I think, my closet is full. I got two closets. I got a walk-in closet and I got another closet in my bedroom. Both are full, and I got bins of clothes. Like, it's time for me to expand. I think that's a sign. It's time for my territory to be increased, and it's time for me to go ahead and, I need to buy some freaking property, y'all. And of course, I've been deciding, like, of course, like, I love New York City. This is my home. I do not want to leave. But then, it's like, with my spirit and mentality, I'm a traveler. I remember, like, in grade school, these group of students, I didn't even know who the hell they were. I just heard them talk about me behind my back. They're like, oh, she's a nomad. Because, yeah, it's like I have that nomadic spirit, just going different places. I'm not bound by a specific geographic location. So, just like I'm not bound by my home state of Florida, right? Born and raised there, and it's a beautiful state. Don't get me wrong. Like, geographically speaking, it's a good location to be in. But nah, like, I just can't sit still in one space for too long. And I like to explore. So I've been thinking of a few different places, even like New Orleans, because I heard that it's a very sacred space, very sacred spiritual space in New Orleans. So, that's a thought. I've never been, but there are like different places. Who knows? Who knows where I'm going to end up buying property, but yeah, I want to like my spaces now. I've always envisioned that my place where I lay my head, my home, is going to be like a living museum, right, of art, African art, and that's exactly what I made here. Like, when you walk in my place, it's a museum, it's art, and it's history, and it's stories, and it's just life. And so I know that my next place is definitely going to be that way. But where, I don't know. I'm trying to be patient. I'm trying to keep my mind open to being able to collaborate and have a partnership with a man, masculine energy, so that we can co-create this together, right? And pool our resources together. That would be beautiful. But I feel like the way things are going, if I wait on that, it ain't never going to happen. So I can't wait on no man to buy a house. I gotta just go ahead and buy my own shit, you know what I'm saying? Just build and build my own museum in my house. But look at here. So I'm like, okay, this is clearly a bowl, right? But is it a bowl that I can pour things in? Because I know sometimes these wooden bowls, they have cracks. And I don't want, like if I pour, let's say, some liquid in here, I don't want it to seep through. So is it a bowl that I would use for food? Or is it just a decorative bowl? Most likely a decorative bowl. But this is cute, right? And I like when she was packaging it, right? Putting it in the bag. I didn't know, like, look, how convenient. It's a way to transport it. Like, I just love it. Me love, me love. And it can go either way, huh? It can go this way, where the heads are at the bottom, the feet at the top, or the heads are at the top, feet at the bottom. I love it. I don't know where I'm going to put this. Maybe I'll put it on top of my couch for now. But this is cute. What can I put in here, though? Something sacred? We don't know. Until then, I'll just let it sit on top of my couch here. And what else did I get? Oh, so you see what I mean? Like, I went there just to replace my choker necklace, and I'm getting all these things here. Not only I get jewelry, but I got wooden pieces. And then I got a dress that I'm not going to try on here in this video. Or should I? From one of my friends. I made a lot of friends at the African market. They know me now because I spent a lot of money there. Should I try this on? No, I'm not going to try it on. But I like the colors. This is so me. Looks like I'm wearing it, right? I tried it on. There we go. There we go. I tried it on without having to get up. So me. I love it. I like the brown in it, right? It just goes with my skin tone. So, who knows? I may wear it. I'm not going to wear this to work tomorrow. Maybe I'll wear it sometime this week. Yeah, I'm just looking forward to the day when I'm done. Because I feel like, I mean, I could stop now, right? Not that I'm obligated to continue to go into that space that I was talking about earlier at the hospital. It's just, I started working towards my hours. So, to stop, given I already started, I just might as well go ahead and finish. But I told the department head of psychology there, I'm like, I'm most likely going to accept a new opportunity when I finish my hours. And she thought that it was because I misunderstood the minutes that she sent regarding coverage on weekend. And that was part of it, like with her saying that, oh, weekend coverage is going to resume most likely in July or June, she said. But then she ended up sending an email back after she read, because in that same email, I was like, yo, I'm about to, like, no, I said, first of all, do not assign me to work on the weekends. Just, no. When I accepted this position, I accepted understanding that I'm going to be working Monday through Friday, 8 to 4:30. That's it. Okay? That was part one of my email. And then, in addition, I said, also, I may be planning to accept a new opportunity when I finish my hours in December. And then she replied back, and she was like, oh, well, that issue of working on the weekends, that's for the other two psychologists who already work that. It doesn't pertain to you. I don't care if it pertains to me or not. I'm at the point like, yo, it's so much shit that has piled up and things that I've observed and experienced since working there, that I'm just like, no, I don't care. The pay, yes, is good, but I can't be bought, and I never will be bought. So many things, yo. That's a whole separate video. So many things. I just sit back and I'm just observing. I'm just like, I told you guys, like, even when I first started, like, why are employees that work there on my team offering me, like, information about job opportunities elsewhere? That I didn't ask for this. This is unsolicited job information of other places. Like, the universe trying to say something to me. This is like, I was like new, fresh. Like, this is my like second week there, and they offered me job information. On top of that, it's just like the energy, the staff, they don't like their jobs. I can't find one happy staff. No, the irony, no, I can't. I've seen, there are a few. One of which is the housekeeper. She is the most happiest employee that I work amongst, ironically. But think of the clinical team, they're not really happy. They're burnt the fuck out. Now, the psychiatrist there on my team, I like him. He does like make jokes to kind of lighten the mood. So he's happy in that way because he's intentional about maintaining his peace of mind, his mental health. But I can see on the flip side of that, yeah, this motherfucker burnt out. He's tired. He's working overtime. Like, it's impacting his health. Taking off work, you know, so that his ass don't lose his goddamn mind and shit. They're like, nah. Who want to work, like, when you have been brought up in a program that, such as mine, right, out in LA, that I got my degree from, that emphasizes self-care and mindfulness. Like, that's the school that I come from. That's the era that I've come from. I don't know what era y'all come from, that y'all been working here for 9-10 years, and this has just become more complacent for you guys to just accept this reality. But I come from an era where self-care is like up here, right? We learned self-care before we even talk about Freud and all the other theorists, right? Like, that is at the top of the list, and that's incorporated and interwoven in every aspect of our training. Self-care, take care of yourself, self-care. And it's not just getting up every day, brushing your teeth, washing your ass, right? It's being mindful of limits that you need to set for yourself, intentional behaviors that you need to implement or change to that you see is causing a negative impact on your health. And that may be even in a professional setting, saying no, like, no, understand, like, nah, I'm coming into an environment where I see, like, I can't, like, if it's already bad now and somebody says it's going to get worse, which I project it's going to get worse, right? I predict it's going to get, like, nah, I'm not about to stay in this kind of system. Because I value myself, I value my respect, my dignity, my health, all of that. Like, no, it's not, it doesn't balance out. So, with that being said, yes, I'm happy that I come up in this school. It has pockets too. I love it when these things have pockets. But I come up in a school where, yo, in an era where, like, thank God, self-care is emphasized, because then I would become one of these bitter-ass state workers. Because that's what you are. You're not even a clinician. Like, no, I didn't go to school to become a state worker just to be deemed, oh, you're just another state worker. Hell no. No, I know what I bring to the table. And I set myself apart. And branding for me is everything. So, I don't know. Y'all fucking up my brand. That's all like, they fucking up my brand working there, you know? It's sad, though, because it's just like, that's just where it is, but that's just what it is. And I find it interesting. I got one more thing to show you guys. Actually, two more things. But I find it interesting that we were having like this, we were hanging out like in the lounge area, and there were like people from other treatment teams there just popping in, right? And so one of the psychologists who trained me, he goes, oh, how do you like it so far? And this had to be, I don't know, maybe 6 weeks in. And he was like, how do you like it so far? And then I like it. I said, I like it. And I was honest. I was being honest about my survey of my experience there. I was like, I like it. I mean, what is there not to like? In my mind, I'm like, okay, why they ask me, do I like it? And why are people offering me like information about positions other places when I didn't even ask for it? Like, if I don't like something, clearly you guys can see I'm gonna tell you I don't like it. But it was concerning to me that he acts in a way as if something should be wrong, right? So I made a mental note of that, and I noticed like as he was asking me that and waiting on my response, and I gave him my response, there was a psychiatrist whispering in his ear, and I can hear what she's saying. She's whispering, but like I can hear you. I have very good hearing and very great eyesight, clearly. And I'm like listening, and she's like, oh, she's just saying that. That's not really how she feels, kind of thing, right? Kind of like wait and see, Like, what is there to wait and see? So apparently, like, there's a culture of people feeling begrudgingly towards their work at this facility. Like, people hate it there. I'm just like, damn. I was protected from experiencing that reality, I would say, within my first month or so there. But then, as time progressed, it's just like, oh, I began to, like, pick up these, and I'm very sensitive to energy. Of course, I am. My personal experiences and professional experiences have made me that way, you know, in a good way, to be very sensitive to people's emotions, thoughts, feelings, and energies. And I can pick up on the energy. I'm just like, the energy, I feel like people, they hate it there. Like, who wants to work in a place where people hate going to work? I don't. That's just like no different than working, like people, you can see people hate like working at DMV. People hate working at fucking McDonald's, right? Like, you can tell motherfuckers hate their work, and look how they do the job. They don't want to do it. They're just doing it there for a paycheck. I don't want to work in an environment like that. Fuck that shit. You can tell they hate it because they're doing the bare minimum, and they're not even barely doing the bare minimum. And this is mental health. This is actually not just mental health, but this is intersection of physical, medical, and mental psychiatric health. That's the last place you have an attitude of not wanting to be there. So I'm off that soapbox, but it's all related. And yes, I like to share. So I actually snuck this pen from the film festival yesterday. Cute, right? I like it. I don't know if you guys can see. The colors, I don't know who chose these colors. Now, I like purple, but the contrast is not good because all of them are kind of like the same density of colors. Should be like different contrast. Alright, so I had to go back and support your girl because I just love this oil here. This is actually part of the spiritual bath kit, but I had to go back and get another one of these, which I did because I just like the scent of this. So the other one I'm actually going to save for my spiritual baths, but I had to get another one separate from that I can just use on a daily basis because this oil, it smells so good, so good, so good. But I'm just happy that I think everything happens for a reason, that I'm experiencing what I'm experiencing now. And I'm getting love to talk about it. I haven't released my autobiography yet, but of course, this particular phase in my life now that I'm talking about is definitely going to go in my autobiography, because I think it's going to be helpful to just reveal that part. I mean, not that people probably already don't know what it's like working in a psychiatric facility. They don't know what it's like working there. And I think, yeah, it just has to be brought to the forefront. Something has to be done about it. People complain about things, but no change is happening. And I think that's the sentiment that my co-worker on my team was sharing, that he's heard like the same narrative of people complaining. So I think when you hear complaining so much, it's draining, right? Especially when nothing is done about it. So I can see it from his perspective now looking back, right? But you have to understand something about me. I'm not a complainer. Like, complainers, people just complain. That's it. Nothing is done. They don't change anything. No. I am an activist. Change happens, yo. When I come on the scene and I say something, there is not one program that I've worked for. There's not one agency. There's not even one institution, educational institution, that I have been a part of that has been unchanged. I know it sounds like I'm kind of tooting my own horn, but I'm being honest, you guys. Like, it's a reason why I wrote an autobiography, okay? I am that person. I want to say that bitch, but I don't want to speak on myself derogatorily, but figuratively speaking, yo, I am her, because things gonna change. It is what it is. There is not a person that I've been with that has been left unchanged, right? Like, you're going to be a changed person. You're going to be a changed institution, a program, whatever you are. Like, things are going to change. Well, if I see something is wrong, best believe when I leave there, things will be different. How they treat psychologists is going to be different, because I came there and I spoke out and I acted and I left. I'm not here to play. Because I don't mind, y'all. Like I said this before, I have nothing to lose, but I have everything to lose. So I'm always willing to take risks. I'm about it. I don't care, my nigga. I just don't. And like they say, you gotta show people better, you can tell them. So, like, yo, when this oil is done, I will be so excited to see what these things are, because I just want to put my hands on them. That's what I want to do. I want to pour it out now, of course, but at some point, yeah, I want to be able to put my hands on them and just see. I got oils like all over the place, y'all. Let me end this video and get me some lunch. But yeah, people just don't know. Get some of my boy. Yeah, I'm that person. It's like, you cannot manipulate a master manipulator. It just doesn't work. It just doesn't. You can't dangle things, because there's nothing that you can offer me that I need from you. People think that. They're like, oh, well, she needs to get her hours. Actually, I don't. I will start all the way the fuck over, okay? People, they don't know me. They just don't know me as a person. They only know what they have been exposed to or have encountered from the people that they've worked amongst. But they just don't know. They just don't know. It's a good thing they don't know, too, though. It's good that people don't know certain things. That's how you're going to keep it that way. Alright, on that note, I'm about to end this video. You guys feel free to share your comments below. I'm looking at this other oil that I got. It's Riri. It smells good too. I got oil for days. So I can't wait till I move into a bigger space, like a 2-story home, 5 bedrooms, 4 baths. I don't need that many baths. Yo, it's getting hot up in here. New York, yo. I saw this video. Somebody was in Colorado and it was snowing. I'm like, what the hell? Snowing in May? It ain't no way. But I'll catch you guys later. Ooh, I definitely gotta go out and get some sun. I'm actually scheduled to go to this event later today. After all of this expressing myself. Not venting, because some people say they vent. I'm like, yo, I don't need nobody to vent to, okay? Let's be clear. If I'm speaking, take my words for what they're worth, okay? I'm not speaking just to be talking. Catch you guys later. Drop your comments below. I see that video, that naked yoga video has gone viral and is continuing to go viral.